Alright, so if you've been listening to the AMC Stock Short Squeeze videos for any amount of time right now, you know one of the biggest questions that everybody wants answered is how high can the price of AMC stock go? Or how high will the price of AMC stock go? Now listen guys, there's nobody out there that can predict the exact peak of the squeeze. I mean, if they would, they would have traveled back from the future or something. Like, there's nobody that can predict the future. But there are a couple things that you should consider when deciding how high to set your price targets, and that's what we're going to discuss here. Because how high depends on a few certain factors, and we need to talk about those. Because the only people who are going to limit this squeeze are the people who hold AMC. It's not the people who are shorting AMC. It's not the hedge funds. It's the people who hold AMC stock. That's me. That's you. So of course, if this sounds like something you're interested in, let's get started. What's up everybody, I'm Clay, I'm here to make 2021 the best year ever. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button, make sure to subscribe to the channel, join us, become a bro. We are here every single day and we are growing our portfolios together. Alright, look, prices on AMC stock are by far one of the most talked about factors in this whole short squeeze thing, right? You've got people out there telling you that AMC is trading at two different prices. It's trading at $800 per share on dark pools. Well, 2 seconds. Let me just talk about that for 2 seconds. Guys, why would a hedge fund go buy the stock at $800 on a dark pool, right? Remember they route all of your orders through the dark pool? Why would they go buy it at $800 and then sell it back to you at $30? That doesn't make any sense. So the people who kind of talk about the fact that AMC's trading at $800 on the dark pool, that's a little silly. Right? I mean, either they're silly or they're just being silly or something's going on with that because that's not right. They're not buying at 800 and selling for 30. They're not doing that. But another thing, people always say that the hedge funds are going to limit the price during the short squeeze. The institutions will limit the price during the short squeeze. The government will limit the price during the short squeeze. The only person or the only entity that is going to limit the price during the short squeeze is you. It's me. So let's talk about why and exactly how high the price of AMC stock can go, because I know that's on everybody's mind. So there's a difference in how high the price can go and how high the price will go. The price can essentially go to infinity, okay? If nobody ever sold the stock, the price would continue to rise during the short squeeze. Why? Because the shares need to be bought back. That obligation, that contractual obligation exists to buy those shares back. And if nobody ever sold, it would go to infinity. Well, we know a couple things, guys. One, there will be people willing to sell AMC stock. So that right there, just it allows you to know that infinity won't be reached. So we need to determine how high AMC stock will go, not how high can it go. And there's a couple of different factors that play into this, right? There will be institutions that short it on the way up. You can bet on that, all right? But I say it comes down to you and I. Why do I say it comes down to you and I? Because we control the supply. There's no surprise out there right now that the retail investors, I can't say apes, right? I can't say apes own the entire float. I can't say that apes own 80% of the stock because retail investors own 80% of the stock. And not all retail investors are apes. So we know there's price predictions out there for 1,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, and so on. I'm sure you've seen them. So how do we get there? Okay? Clearly we know that $100 a share is going to be easier than $1,000 a share. 1,000 easier than 5, 5 easier than 10, 10 easier than 100, and so on. You get the drill. So what do we have to focus on, and how do we get to these obscenely high prices? It simply comes down to resisting the temptation to sell the stock. Now, why is that? If we sell the stock, we could essentially be selling it back to the hedge funds, right? And as soon as the hedge funds cover all of their short positions, the squeeze is over. All right, this isn't going to go on for eternity. This isn't going to go on until the end of time, right? It goes on until the hedge funds cover their short positions. It's as simple as that. Now, when you sell your stock, whether you're out there day trading, shame on you if you are. If you're out there day trading, you could be selling directly to the hedge funds, covering a short position. If you're thinking about getting out during the short squeeze, maybe you're at $500, you could be selling directly to a hedge fund. Now, once we reach a certain point, I don't know what that point is going to be. 100, 200, 3,000, I don't know what the point is going to be. Retail investors will drop off. FOMO buyers will drop off. And the only entity that will be left buying AMC stock are the hedge funds covering short positions. When that occurs, whether that's at $500, $1,000, $5,000 per share, whenever that comes to be, that is when we limit the short squeeze. All right? Now, if you and I, if we can resist the temptation to sell, the price continues higher. If the institutions out there holding AMC can resist the temptation to sell, the price goes higher. Now, why do I put such an emphasis on the temptation? Because think about it, guys. I don't know how many shares you have in your portfolio. You don't know how many shares I have in my portfolio. But what I do know is there will be a certain point in time when the price rises that you will see more money than you have ever seen before. You will be tempted to sell. There will be a time when I see a price in my portfolio and that is more money than I have ever seen before. I will be tempted to sell. You understand? And this temptation level will come at different prices for every single person holding AMC stock. Maybe you could be debt free at $120 a share. Maybe you could buy the house of your dreams at $300 a share. Maybe you could be set for the rest of your life at $1,000 per share. Do you see the temptation levels that come across there? Do you get out of debt free? Do you get out at the house of your dreams? Do you get out when you've got financial freedom for the rest of your life? Those are all temptation points. And each and every one of us will face the exact same thing. So if you're going to say you're going to hold out to 100,000, you have to be willing to overcome every temptation on the way. If I say the same thing, I have to overcome every temptation on the way to that price point. Now, where it comes to be, where the squeeze ends, is when everybody sold the hedge funds enough shares so that they were able to cover their positions. Now, if you believe in the synthetic shares of AMC, okay. If you don't, you're looking at roughly 80 million shares that are currently being reported as short. I know the short interest is rising on Ortex, but we'll have to see when the actual shorts are reported, right? We know that there are currently around 80 million shares that we need to keep out of the hands of the hedge funds. And if we can resist that temptation for all 80 million shares, we will absolutely see the price continue to rise until that temptation overcomes everybody holding AMC stock. So hopefully this sheds a little bit of a light on how we reach these higher prices, how high we can go based on how long we can resist the temptation. Now, guys, I want to know down in the comments below right now if you are willing to resist the temptation, if you are waiting for something in your future that's going to be your mark on when to get out, but the temptation is going to be real and you need to prepare for it right now. And please share this video with somebody who kind of wants to understand a little bit more about how high AMC stock can go, because there's still a lot of confusion out there, guys. I see it especially with the new members in the AMC stock community. They don't yet understand what's going on or why the price could go so high. And just get the word out there that this isn't some pump and dump scheme, and this isn't something that's, fly by night. We're here for a reason, and we're here to watch AMC Stock Squeeze. If that red button is still red, make sure to click it, subscribe to the channel, join us, become a bro. We are here every single day, and we are growing our portfolios together. Webull, $100, a great trading platform, a great brokerage. You're going to get a couple free stocks just for signing up. And what else do we have? Twitter, Instagram, ClayBro883 if you want to follow me there. Plenty of links down there. Just check them all out, guys. And until the next time, I hope that each and every one of you have an awesome day.